I've been told that to get to heaven, you have to go through hell. Some of the worst moments in your life will, in turn, make some of the best moments in your life.
Please welcome Jordan Burnham.
I am 21 years old.
All right, University of Miami, hello. Guys, I can't tell you, I'm so excited to be here.
I also tried to take my own life.
So it's my job to go around the country to speak to kids in middle schools, high schools, colleges on my story. So growing up, I had my mom and dad who both worked in school districts, and my sister who's 5 years older than me. Now, going through elementary school and into middle school, I actually was able to gain friends that I could trust, and I felt comfortable in the environment that I was now in. I fit in, and it felt like I was in one big family.
I went to high school at Upper Marion High School in King of Prussia, and I started my high school career in 2004. My dad being an athletic director, I got exposed to so many sports, and baseball was just something that struck me.
Go JB, go JB.
My son's high school experience had to be utopia. He had girlfriends, he was playing sports, he was doing well with it, getting most valuable player awards.
He was really good actually at a lot of sports, so not just one. I mean, he was great with basketball, with baseball, golf. He's really good at golf.
The pressures on high school athletes is enormous in a lot of ways. I didn't want him to feel that play sports because I'm in sports.
I felt as though when it came to playing past high school, I put a lot of pressure on myself to try and make it out of high school. Especially being an African-American, and a lot of times the only African-American either on the baseball team or on the golf team, I felt like I always had to be the best at my sport. Because I put these unattainable goals up so high, and when I didn't reach them, I would just beat myself up over and over again.
Going into 9th grade, I was voted class president, which is something I should have been proud of, should have been happy about, but at the same time, I was going to that school with fake smiles, with fake laughs, with a mask on my face. 9th grade was also the first time I started to see my grades slip, and I couldn't figure out why.
It's really hard at that point in high school to try to work, you know, with your son or daughter at that age. It was more irritable. The driving test, of course, that situation really brought it out fully.
10th grade comes around, and I was going to take my driver's test. I get there, do the blinkers, get to the stop sign, stop, go to parallel park, hit the curb 5 times and fail.
I snapped. I bottled up all of these emotions that I had before this, and I snapped at the driver instructor and at my dad.
Screams, yells, curses at me. I'm like, excuse me? Never had that kind of confrontational situation with him, or even seen him that angry.
I had thoughts of, yes, maybe I should just take my car over a cliff, or maybe I should just try and take my own life because there's no point in being here anymore. I was diagnosed with depression when I was in 10th grade.
1 out of 5 kids before they turn 18 will experience an episode of depression. And one thing that we have seen pretty consistently is that there's a decreased serotonin levels within the brains of people who are depressed. And that basically impairs their ability to function.
It was like all of a sudden, you know, you had the answer to why he was sleeping so much and, you know, why he was having trouble focusing.
I thought it was like a cold. The more you take the medicine, the more you rest and get something to drink, some orange juice, you're going to get better.
One of the biggest symptoms that I know personally I saw in myself was the loss of interest in things that usually make yourself really happy. When I would go golfing and I wasn't happy about it, that's when I knew there was something really wrong. But you just don't want to talk about it.
In the beginning of my senior year, I was nominated to play for the individual playoffs in golf, which should have been exciting to me, but it's still just numb to me.
It seemed like he was going to be our star player that year as his senior year, and expected him to be the person that would probably be making it to our suburban tournament.
So I remember my dad picking me up after I play this great round, after I'm so excited, and he looks tired. And I asked him what was wrong, and he says nothing. I'm just tired. And I just remember my mom sitting on the couch looking like she's about to cry. That's when my dad walked in with a duffel bag full of alcohol.
When he dropped that bag, my heart dropped with it. Because here I am, their son, the person that should be making them the happiest, the proudest, and all I do is disappoint them.
Jordan, is this yours?
It's mine.
And he's just very upset and going, I'm just no good. I'm just no good, you know, I'm not a good son.
After that, I walked into my bedroom. I locked the door like I usually did when I was upset or mad at myself or my parents and didn't want to talk to anyone. But this time, I barricaded my door with my chair.
And I started banging on his door, calling him and saying, Jordan, come on, you know, I'm depressed about this too. And I was trying to talk to him, and he just say, I know he said no, Mom.
And that's the last memory I have. I don't remember falling. I don't remember the way that I hit the ground. But I can just remember my body just stopping.
What I saw was indescribable. To see him laying there, half unconscious, he's not gonna make it.
When I hit the ground, I was going approximately 50 miles per hour. It's just over 90 feet, broke my fibula, my tibia, I shattered my femur, broke my pelvis, I broke my left wrist, I broke my jaw in 4 different places. I was in a coma for 5 days.
I just knew he was still breathing with the machine, so that's what you held on to every day, that we still had him.
I'm laying in this hospital, I have a trach in my throat. I'm down to 90 pounds. No one wants to tell me what happened.
About 2 weeks go by and my sister's visiting. To this day, my sister and I remain best friends, so I knew if there was one person that was gonna tell me what happened, it would be my sister.
Saw each other and said hi and whatnot. He said, he mouthed to me because he couldn't speak. He mouthed, what happened?
And she said, you went out your window.
And then he looked at me and asked, did someone push me?
Who pushed me?
I looked at him and said, you know, you were by yourself.
Suicide attempt. How did I survive a 9-story fall?
All I could think to say was God.
There were so many things with his body that needed to heal, and little by little, he just kept setting goals for himself.
I was in a hospital for 5 months, and they were there every single day.
I remember the first time he had a walker, and they said, just go 10 feet. And the next thing I know, he's going out the door. And I'm like, Jordan, how'd you do that? And he would just look at me and smile.
But at the same time, I'm missing my entire senior year of high school. I was able to do some things like go to my senior prom, but I was in a wheelchair. I was able to graduate on time, but I went to that graduation in a wheelchair.
Now, leading up to graduation, my dad and I discussed what my goal was. That was to be able to walk at graduation. I'll never forget wheeling up, and I put the brakes on the wheelchair. I get up, and my dad left the walker right there that I was gonna walk with. The only thing I see is my dad. I know in his heart that this is the proudest moment he's ever had of his son, who should be dead. And I go back down the stairs, and almost metaphorically, I can't even get to the last step without my dad being there.
He's coming down the steps, he looks at me. There's a great look. He says, Dad, Thanks for being here for me, and Dad, I love you.
And he hugged me back and he said, you know, I love you too. And I think in a lot of ways that was almost him saying, I'll never let you fall again.
Depression shows no bias. It can affect absolutely anyone. They can be the star athlete, they can be popular, they can appear to have it all, but it's more about what's going on the inside. And Jordan wore that mask.
When I was laying in the hospital bed, what I was hoping is that it would make it okay and even cool for young adults to talk about whatever they're going through and feel confident in doing so. Thank you, University of Miami. You guys have been so great. I really appreciate it. When I got home out of the hospital, the mantle that you see behind me, that's what I saw. I saw my accomplishments that my dad put there to remind me, we're proud of you no matter what. Look at what you have done with your life before this and what you're going to do after this.